What's up, YouTube? I'm here to do my prediction video for UFC Fight Night Cejudo versus Dillashaw. The first fight is Chance Rencounter versus Kyle Stewart, and to me, Kyle Stewart looks really good. He's 11-1. His one loss was to an undefeated guy. I know he's taking this fight on super short notice, but to me, Chance Rencounter just didn't impress me at all in his debut. He hardly threw any strikes. His wrestling didn't look that great. I know he took that fight on super short notice, so that could have been why his performance wasn't that great, but it's just hard for me to see Kyle losing. Like I said, I thought he was a really solid prospect before that one loss, and I still think he is. I mean, 11-1 with one loss to an undefeated guy. Yeah, like I said, I think Kyle looks like a solid up-and-comer, and I say he wins by either decision or TKO. Next, we got Belal Muhammad versus Jeff Neal. And I wasn't 100% on Jeff Neal until his last fight. I felt like he looked like a good striker, but he wasn't fighting great people. And then in his last fight, he looked like a great striker against a guy who I think is really good. I can't remember what Frank Camacho. Frank Camacho. Frank Camacho is not like the most technical striker ever, but he's a tough dude. Like if you watch his UFC fights, he gives it as good as he takes it. And Jeff Neal just outstruck him really dominantly. To me, Bella's more technical than Frank Camacho is, but I don't think his striking's as good, in my opinion. It's just more technical. I think that Jeff is just the way better striker, and I think Jeff's takedown defense is good enough to keep it on the feet, and I just think that it stays on the feet, and Jeff Neal eventually clips this guy and knocks him out. So I got Jeff winning by first round KO or second round. Next, we got Dennis Bermudez versus T. Edwards, and I mean, T only has like 3 minutes to win this fight. I feel like he's a very fast starter, and then he fades really fast. We saw that in his last fight. I mean, he got clipped early. He basically just survived a little bit, and then he was super gassed. I feel like Dennis Bermudez has the much better conditioning. He's probably the better striker, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think that Dennis Bermudez is going to push this guy against the fence, beat him up a little bit, and eventually get this to the ground and win by like rear naked choke or something. So I got Bermudez by like second round rear naked choke. Next, we got Mario, can't say his last name, versus Corey Sandhagen, and Mario looks like he's pretty solid overall. I think he's got good skills everywhere, but I just think he's taking this fight on way too short a notice. And I think Corey Sandhagen's just too good of an overall striker. I think Mario, in the first round, who knows what could happen, but I feel like the longer this goes, the fact that Mario took this on such short notice, he only took it like 3 days notice, something like that. I think Corey's going to slowly light this dude up as the fight goes, and I think he's just going to win by knockout or TKO in the second round. Next, we got Alonzo Metafield versus Vinicius Morano, and this is 100% striker versus grappler. All of Alonzo's wins are by knockout. All of Vinicius's wins are by submission. I think that Vinicius is a very good grappler, but I just don't think his wrestling's as good as Alonzo's takedown defense is, and I think on the feet, Alonzo's just so much better. And I just really think that's what's going to happen. I think Alonzo's going to stuff the takedowns and win by first round knockout. Next, we got Joanne Calderwood versus Ariana Lipski, and these two chicks have very similar styles, but I feel like Joanna is just the better fighter overall. I feel like Joanna's lost some fights that I thought she clearly won. I think that, she's had a hard time being consistent. Oh, sorry about that. Something was caught in my throat. But, like I said, I feel like she's won more than she should, than her record shows. And Ariana Lipski, I think this is her debut. I think Joanna's just too good for her. I think that, I think it'll be back and forth, but I think Joanna just edges every round, and I think she wins by unanimous decision. Next, we got Donald Cerrone versus Alexander Hernandez. And this fight, to me, is the most exciting part on the card because I feel like we're going to finally fucking see Donald Cerrone grapple off his back. I can't remember the last time. I know the Mike Perry fight, he grappled off his back for like a second, but that's just because he was so much better than Mike Perry on the ground. I want to see someone really like take him down and try to fucking grapple with him on the ground. I don't know if that's going to happen. I know Alexander Hernandez has good boxing, and he might realize that it's safer to stay on the feet. I hope he doesn't play that. I hope he fucking tries to grapple with Cerrone. And, Cerrone's getting up there. I don't know how durable he's going to be at this point, but I think that overall striking-wise, I give the advantage to Cerrone, and I definitely give him the advantage against anybody if it goes to the ground and he's on the bottom. I think that's his best game. We never get to see it because nobody ever wants to fucking take him down. That's what I'm just hoping for. I'm hoping we get to see Alexander take him down. We get to see Cerrone fight off his back. Like, that's the most exciting thing about this whole card, in my opinion. And if that happens, I got Cerrone winning by either triangle or like omoplata. And that's what I think is going to happen, and I'm just leaning towards that happening. Next, we got Glover Teixeira versus Carl Robinson, and I feel like there's a reason Carl Robinson moved down to middleweight. I think he's a little too small for a light heavyweight. He's taking this fight at short notice. You know, he's probably the better overall striker, but I think Glover's just going to walk this dude down, take him down, and once it's there, I mean, you know, Carl's definitely gotten better with his wrestling, but if what's-his-face could submit him at middleweight, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, Glover can definitely do the exact same thing. I think Glover's the better wrestler than, I can't remember, you know what I'm talking about, like the hardcore guys, the Brazilian guy that Carl lost to not that long ago. I think that Glover's going to take him down and get the exact same arm triangle in the first round. He's just too big. Next, we got Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich, and this depends on how rusty Paige is. I think Paige is probably the better overall fighter, but she has been very inconsistent with how often she fights, and she's always been kind of weak against submissions. You know, Rachel, I think she's a good fighter, she's just not a great fighter. It all depends on, like I said, on Paige. If she looks 110%, she should probably win this fight, but I just don't think so. I think she's been fighting less and less, and every fight she's been looking worse and worse, in all honesty. I think this fight goes to the ground, and I think when it does, I think Rachel's eventually going to catch Paige. I think her jiu-jitsu is just better than Paige's submission defense, and like I said, I don't know how willing Paige is to fight at this point, but I just got Rachel winning by submission in like the first round. Next, we got Joseph Benavidez versus Dustin Ortiz, and Dustin Ortiz took this fight on short notice, and I don't think this fight's going to be any different than the first time these two guys fought. I think Benavidez is just the much better striker, the much better wrestler. I don't think Dustin has a ton of finishing power. I think the best he can try to do is just out-wrestle him, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think that, you know, he might take him down here and there, but I think Benavidez is just the better guy at scrambling and the stronger fighter overall, and I just think the exact same thing is going to happen. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be fun, but I think Benavidez is going to edge out every single round and just win a 30-27 decision. Next, we got Gregor Gillespie versus Yancy Medeiros, and I don't understand why Gregor Gillespie isn't getting a higher ranked dude. You know, I'm happy for Yancy to get such a big fight. I mean, this could propel him into the top 15, but I mean, Gregor should be fighting top 15 dudes. He's 5-0 in the UFC, he's 7-0 outside the UFC, and he's been super dominant every fight except for like one. You know, I'm hoping Yancy wins this fight, but I just don't know if he will. I think Gregor's just such a fucking strong wrestler. Like, I really want Yancy to win, and I definitely think he's got, like, really good guillotines, and he is the better striker. I think Gregor's got more one-punch knockout power, but I think in terms of overall striking, Yancy's the better guy. It's just, Gregor's wrestling is just so fucking good. It's hard to see Yancy being able to stop that. I mean, Yancy's got really good takedown defense, to be fair. It's tough. I'm going with Yancy just because he's from Hawaii. But really, Gregor's probably going to win. I think his wrestling is too strong, but I just can't pick against Yancy. I hope Yancy catches him in a guillotine. But yeah, realistically, Gregor's going to win, but I'm picking Yancy. Next, we got Greg Hardy versus Alan Crowder, and this depends. I mean, Alan Crowder, if he's smart, I would just pull guard. Greg Hardy's like 4-0, but all of his wins are in the first minute. We have no idea how good he looks in the second round or after like the 3-minute mark, to be honest. I think Alan Crowder's the much better grappler overall. I think Greg Hardy's definitely got the better striking one-punch knockout power. But like I said, when you see a guy who's never gone past the 1-minute mark, my goal would be just get him there. Like, you know, grab a hold of this guy, try to take him down. If you can't get it, pull guard. Just let him be on top of you. You know, try to tire him out. You're the better jiu-jitsu guy. Alan Crowder's a brown belt. I don't think that's going to happen. I think in these situations, for some reason, dudes always try to fucking strike with the really badass striker if they can't take him down right away. It's like, like I said, to me, pulling guards are a good strategy. Look at Ryan Hall. That dude's, I think, never lost, and he only pulls guard. Yeah, like I said, it's smart. I mean, this dude's never gone past the first minute, and Greg Hardy's not young. He's like 40. But like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Alan Crowder tries to take him down, doesn't get it, and Greg Hardy just lights him up. So I got Greg Hardy winning by first round KO. Finally, we got Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw, and this depends entirely on how TJ Dillashaw's chin is. I think that if he cuts too much weight, then Cejudo might knock him out. If not, I think that he wins this fight all day. I think that all those guys at 135 are better than Demetrius and Cejudo. I think that they're like the top three, the fucking Dominic, TJ, and Cody. I think they all have better movement. I think they all have better striking and better power. It's just the weight cut. You know, I don't think most of them could have made that weight. You know, if TJ's chin is fine, then he'll win this fight every day. His striking's just way better, and I think, Henry's the better wrestler, but I don't think he'll be able to hold him down. Not like how he did to DJ. I think TJ's too good at getting back up. And I just see TJ picking Henry apart and winning by knockout sooner or later. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.